blasting. There we go. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's having a good Monday. Getting back to it on the live stream. What's up, Arnett? What's up, Rolando? Welcome, welcome. And it feels like the old Zen times, right? Hope you guys are having a good day. Yeah, we're just chilling. So got a fun little show. I've been doing some vibe coding and some building. We're building X1 Ninja, and on the day 0 stream yesterday, we actually started building our own XenBlocks miner. So XenBlocks miner hasn't been updated in a long time. Shout out to Woody. He built a beast of a miner, but one thing that's been apparent is the XenBlocks server that accepts the blocks tends to go down throughout the day. So what's kind of cool about how XenBlocks work is the hash contains certain salt, like a timestamp and some other things. So with that timestamp, they can verify when the block was mined. So technically, as long as the server's up, you can submit backdated hashes, or at least that's the rumor. So I've been running my miners at home, and every time that server goes offline, I just see all these reject, fail to connect, reject, and it doesn't send the hashes. So I'm losing probably 50% of my hashes because the miner doesn't store that hash and then submit it later. So yesterday we took a fork of Woody's miner, and we started kind of tweaking it a bit. I let it run overnight, and it did pretty good. So at this point, I think I'm ready to get it onto my server. So I'm not... it was funny when I was trying to set up the stream, I couldn't actually start the stream because the miner was running and just eating all the RAM in my graphics card. So I wrapped up, I committed it to remote, so it's up in GitHub, and now we will download it on our GPU server and begin testing it there. So what we'll do, we're going to open terminal, go ahead and get into our GPU server. Did I start a folder here? We got XNM tests. So we'll call this one Tree Miner. Actually, I'm just gonna have Claude clone it right here. Let me blow this up a little for you. We're using Opus 5. And what I'm going to do is head over to our tree miner. It is live on GitHub, but I have no idea if it's ready for use. We're doing our initial testing right now. But if you go to my GitHub, there's a tree_miner, and that's the one. Please clone this repo and let me know when we're ready to begin. So I'm super lazy. I like to have the agent do everything. So having the agent clone the GitHub into my folder, we'll back out of this folder. We'll go into the tree miner folder, and then we'll start playing. So if you're storing hashes, what is the difficulty that the resubmission of the transaction hash confirms? Is it doing the same thing as Zuni's? That's a good question, and that actually came up right before I started the stream. The agent said that the difficulty in all right, so let's get super nerdy with it if we want to look at the XenBlocks algorithm. Here is the yes, so right here. So a hash is a hash that contains Zen 11. So it generates all these random hashes over and over until it finds one with Zen 11. Then it kind of takes a snapshot of everything. So it'll take the hash, the Argon and the Argon 2 ID header, the version of Argon, and then this is kind of what you're asking here. So if you're storing hashes, what is the difficulty that the resubmission of the transaction hash confirms? That is M in the protocol. So doesn't have like the, yeah, right here. So like this is, if you notice in the logs when you're submitting the hashes, you'll see this and it says hash to verify Argon2 ID. So that's the, actually I can't put it side by side. Then you got the V, which is the version of Argon. Then you have the M, which is the difficulty. So that M is part of that hash that's required to reconstruct the hash. So that's what we're trying to figure out is if I mine a hash and I'm not connected to the network, it'll store that timestamp, it'll store the hash, it'll store the difficulty that I mined that hash at. So technically all that is sound. I should be able to submit it, right? Like that's I found the hash and it's a valid hash because it contains the difficulty at that timestamp, right? That's kind of a, that's the thought anyway. I don't know if this is actually going to work. But I saw Tony Stark in the chat saying that that's kind of what he was messing with too. I thought it was a cool idea to start this new vibe coding stream. So shout out to the 2 viewers, man. We're back at it. All right, so we got our tree miner here. We'll go ahead and spin up Claude. I'd like to do, I'm curious if I can. I don't think that'll work. That's okay. Anyways. So we're connected to our GPU server down in the basement. We got our miner cloned from GitHub. Now I'm just gonna open up a fresh Claude session. And we'll open a second terminal window. Connect to our terminal. Go into the folder. For this one, we'll launch Codex. Ooh. That's crazy I don't have Codex installed on this machine. We are so back. Let's go. It'll have to be resubmitted at the same difficulty that it was mined at. Yeah, exactly. And that's how the miner stores it anyway. So it's like, it's pretty cool. You know, it's everything that it needs when you find that hash is in the hash to verify log. So as long as you keep that intact and it's the salt is able to kind of reverse the password algorithm, you know, then that's the key. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Like XenBlocks too. So here's the version of Argon, or here's the protocol Argon2. Here's the version. Here's the difficulty. Here's the time. Here's the P, which is the hash. So then that's the hash. Then you can actually reverse engineer it. So your ETH address is your salt, has the P, the M, the I, the H. And that's what Argon is. I have to log into Codex here. Oh, you motherfucker. Alright, just give me 1 second. Copy this. Here. So gotta use the device code because I'm on a remote machine and there's no local callback. Sweet. Try new model GPT 5.4. What the hell? Yeah, update from version 114 to 147. You update? Am I stupid? Can I just tell Codex to update itself? Update yourself to the latest version of Codex. This is so old, this model's not even supported. Jesus. Update yourself to the latest version of Codex. Alright. So one of the cool things on our vibe coding journey, I was kind of describing it yesterday. So ChatGPT, OpenAI released their little hardware thing, and I thought it was kind of a cheesy little handheld thing. You know, it's kind of a gimmick, but it's cool. It's like a collectible. I didn't buy one. They were like $300 or $400, but what I did do is I bought like a $20 board on Amazon and just made my own. So it lights up, it does the speech to tech, it has a little knob that I can move the cursor back and forth. It's basically a little vibe coding terminal. I actually keep forgetting to use it because I'm just so used to typing. But so if I hold this first button, I can click here and say review the tree miner project. Let me know what's next in the setup. I guess I have to open the software first, right? Another little vibe coded project we're working on, TreeSpeak. It's the speech to text. So review this project, make sure all prerequisites are installed, and let me know when you're ready for some questions. So it takes my speech, puts it in the chat there, send it right over. All right, let's do this. So stupid. No, it is still Codex CLI. I was thinking this wasn't working because they changed it from Codex to ChatGPT. So I'm like, oh, maybe I'm stuck on an old version that's still called Codex, but just uninstall it. Use the official CLI command. All right. We got Claude on the left reviewing the project. Trying to get Codex CLI going. You motherfucker. Yerp. W Stream Brother, what's up, Mr. Lit? Welcome. Yeah, we're just getting set up here, don't mind me. Trying to get a... It's been so long since I've touched this mining machine that I don't even have CLI installed. Sign in again, come on. So welcome, Mr. Lit. Where are you from? Are you coming from the AI vibe coders, or are you a crypto Zen Bitcoin head? We welcome all sides. Oh, I just did that again too. I got to do the stupid device code. All right. Get out of here, device code. Server usually drops banned on the new hour. It varies for length, but on average around 14 minutes. Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. Review the tree miner folder and let me know the next steps for building the prerequisites and finishing the project. All right, so hot tip, notice how it continues to ask me for permissions. If you hit Shift Tab, you can put it in auto mode. So notice the colors on the bottom are changing. Put it in the yellow mode, in auto mode. It'll just auto accept the safe ones. Do have to be careful with that because it will take liberties and do more than you want it to sometimes. So not saying to run it. What's the tag on the CLI? It's like a dangerously skip permissions. Oh, what's up, Tony? Hell yeah. Gonna stream till you fall asleep? Where are you at? What part of the world? I forget. Do you think Dr. Doom is Tony Stark? First verification attempt fails during collection, not project logic. All right, I'll let you cook. Notice how I have these different tabs here in TreeSpace. So this first TreeSpace is the actual tab for this program. So I'm actually building this program from within this program. I'll resume my session, and I'm just kind of feeding it different ideas that I want. Add this to the plan, but don't act now. Would like to be able to connect remote machines in the project via the project folder on the bottom. Right now it just uses Windows Explorer and I'm not able to connect to the machines I have SSH authentication with. How do I switch between Windows Explorer and a remote configuration window when switching between project folders with the menu at the bottom? We had to launch agents and see system performance and stuff like that. It works pretty well. That was weird. Did I lose connection there? I just got a note that says OBS reconnected, but it says my connection's excellent, so I don't know. All right, so let's see what Codex found. The core tree miner functionality is substantially implemented and previously validated, but a clean rebuild is blocked by prerequisite setup drift. The immediate priority should be making the build reproducible before continuing CUDA optimization or platform work. So basically it's saying it's broken and it can't build right now. We got our two 3060s. Before we build, let's focus on the fix. What we're really trying to do is make the submission flawless, even when the main server goes offline. What we're looking to do is make the submission flawless, even when the main server goes offline. Why is that not typing? Well, that's weird. I'm having connection issues. What's going on? Sound check. Is the stream okay? It dropped a little bit. What the hell? That's weird. It says my connection's excellent, but I do get these Like doing the speech to text or something. What is happening? Strange. Let's do this real quick. There we go. Beautiful. That was strange. That was real weird. So this is the third day in a row streaming, and that's never happened where it just kind of wigs out like that. I'm thinking there might have been some remnants. Let me make sure WSL is stopped. I'm thinking WSL was running and maybe there was a minor process that was stuck running in the background. So where were we? It's trying to explain. The point of this refactor is to make sure that when hashes are submitted and the receiving server is down, that we store them locally and resubmit them when the server's up. We need to make sure we're minding our data and making sure the submission process is flawless. Please review the project to make sure we meet that goal. Awesome. Cool. Well, yeah, guys, this is vibe coding. That's funny. I just noticed I'm rocking the KJP shirt. No phase.buzz. I think that website expired, actually. So that's interesting that you say keep a log of difficulty, because that's what the hash is, right? Or is that's what I was trying to figure out, if like when the server goes haywire, it'll report either the correct difficulty, it will report a difficulty of 100, or the miner will say it's 42069. So at which point, which hash will be accepted by the server when the server comes back up? That's what we're trying to figure out. What's up, Janet Rakuten? Three types: Zunis, XenBlocks, and XenMs, and the link hashes to the difficulty. Yeah. I also liked how you had that little Windows display. So I want to build something like that for Linux, where it's more like a website where the port's open in the background and you can connect to it and see your stats. Smith used to have that built into his mind. I think it was Smith. Or it might have been Woody. The architecture is sound, but I would not yet call the submission process flawless. The normal outage path works. Several failure paths can still lose or incorrectly acknowledge fines. Kernel write failure does not stop mining. SQLite failure is caught and logged, but execution continues. Disk full, yeah, of course. Fail closed. Work occurs before durable capture. It's good at any location. Well, no shit. Need to create a custom log during the exact moment so you have no... Do you know which one the server takes, or is it just depends? You do you take all of them? You take the 100 difficulty, the actual difficulty, and the 420/69, and then submit all three and see which one it takes. What the hell? Why am I getting disconnected? I wonder if bot over here is running the miner and it's crashing the server. That's interesting. You don't have the 420/69 issue. I think I was having that with Joseph's miner when I was playing with it. That's just like the default difficulty. So like I was wondering if like when the difficulty drops to 100, do those hashes still get accepted, or do you need to submit the hashes on what the difficulty should be and the server's just not reporting it properly? And I think that could be part of the case too. That's strange. My mouse is... That's a new bug in the software. Moving my mouse is... 'I wonder if maybe I'm overloading the server. It's taking my mouse as a kind of input. Wait, y'all trying to collect at 100 difficulty? Nah, but if you notice the logs when the server goes down and it comes up, it'll say the difficulty is 100. So I'm wondering if, but it's also giving me like half the blocks I submit are failure. So I'm wondering if that 100 is like a misreport and you have to submit at what the actual difficulty is, even though it's not reporting the actual difficulty. Maybe that'll stop the bad blocks. A 100 is a true difficulty. Well, I mean, when I say true difficulty, I mean the consensus of the network. Man, it's been a minute since I've thought about XenBlocks. Before implementing the new difficulty setting, the network undergoes a verification phase to prevent attacks and failures. This is what I mean when I say the normal difficulty. Whatever this is. And then they have the consensus. It's just weird. It bounces back and forth between like 1,000 and 100. Two hard crashes. No software cause recorded. Are we having a heat issue? What's the temperature? I have a 5090, and I was only using 9 gigs of VRAM at 100, at 24 at 1100. That's crazy. And so that's what I was kind of wondering, Tony. So that's what I was thinking about doing is which one was being accepted. Was it the one at 100 or was it the one at 1100? Or were both being accepted because they're valid hashes? I'm not even running the miner yet. I'm just trying to install the prereqs and it's crashing my server. VC package compiling boost and then OpenSSL from source. All sustained core load. But it's the kind of load that exposes a marginal PSU, RAM, and CPU cooling. I was wondering if it overheated. All of them work. Yikes. At the same time, though, I'm saying like, so you have two parallel miners running. One gets a 100 hash and one gets a hash with the difficulty at 1100. It takes both of them. Heat issue. I just realized, did the miner service restart and we're trying to install a new miner while the old miner's running? Please make sure the mining service is stopped and then proceed with the install. God, that'd be dumb. That has to be what's happening. I'm trying to install the new miner while the current miner's running. Good instinct. Shout out to the 4 watchers. Found it. You're right. This changes the crash picture too. Alright. Well, that makes me feel better. We found the root cause. No. Yeah, 2 completely separate GPUs with the same... Not even... The address doesn't even matter. I'm just wondering what the server accepts. If I have my GPU running and it mines a hash at the true difficulty of the network at 1100, and your miner reports a difficulty of 100 and you mine a hash, and we both submit the hash and the hash is valid, whose gets accepted? That's what I can't figure out. Do both, or just me, or just you? Root cause like a tree. Yes. Proceed with the installation. Server crashed because the old miner was running, so I disabled the mining service. Can you make sure I disabled the proper service and then continue reviewing the code? I feel like I'm right in front of the console here. I'd be in the middle. Oops. That's kind of funny. Let's cover both of them, I guess. That finishes. Let me confirm the 2 gaps I suspected in the drain path. Classifier solid. Every documented server response has an explicit case. Very good question. Usually when the network gets flaky is when it's about to go down. So homemade logging is good when extracting the info from the hash. Yeah. Hey, you're good. I get it what you mean. So, thanks, kid. Danny. Yeah, man, I feel the bull market's starting to heat up. I see all this AI stuff happening. Thinking about buying some SpaceX. There's just the market's starting to turn around, so I'm back at it. And I really want to catch this AI wave. This is what I'd be doing regardless. So it's like, I really just kind of play with AI tools all day for fun. Need the miner to ping the RPC status every second. So I have some fundamental questions about XenBlocks. Because the pool tends to go down, we're trying to determine how hashes are received by the server. Sometimes it reports a difficulty of 1100 and sometimes it reports a difficulty of 100. How do I know which difficulty will be accepted, and how do we create a test case for this? I think that's a big part of why we have so many hashes that get rejected, is because we're mining at the wrong difficulty. XenBlocks with a Z. Do the 3060s support CUDA 12.6? To the 3060s. Test the endpoints. Yeah, for sure. Come on. Difficulty transitions can explain some rejections, but the server doesn't require an exact difficulty match. An actual rule in the reference server is accept difficulty check when hash is greater than or equal to server difficulty at submission. Reject when it's less. That's interesting. Is that where you were seeing earlier, Tony Starks, about the any difficulty? You can always do a higher difficulty. So if the server drops to 100 and I continue mining at 1100 and I find hashes, it'll still accept my hashes. But I'd rather mine at 100 if it'll accept the 100. I want to make more verbose logging to track this exact case. Don't compile yet. I have another codex agent working on some other features. X1 Brains in the house. Welcome, welcome. Shout out to the 7 watchers. Well, that's annoying. Will the miner run at CUDA 11.5? Parked funds may not unpark. Oh. Man, speech to text really fucked that one up. Well, the miner are on a CUDA 11.5. I wanted to say, will the miner run on CUDA 11.5? Do I have Pro? Man, I have way too many subscriptions. I got Claude Max, I got Codex Pro, I got the Arpeggio Kimi, and now I'm thinking about getting Cursor because Cursor is about to release their new Composer model and it's pretty beefy. I want to test that out, but I gotta cancel something first. Honestly, I'm thinking not really canceling Claude, but just lowering the subscription. But we'll see. I do have Grok build. I do. I can come over to my launcher here. I can click on Grok and just launch a. I could say, review the code base and let me know how to solve the difficulty changes when the server goes offline. So now I got Claude, Codex, and Grok all in one. Might as well invite Kimmy to the fun too. Then I can take this little layout and do like a 2x2. review the code base and make recommendations. So we got K3, we got Grok 4.5. And we're doing the thing. So we'll run an 11.5. I'll have to get my other machine. I have another server that has a 5060 in it. But it's turned off right now because it gets too hot in the summertime. It's interesting. I'm curious about this now. The kernel's benchmark numbers in the experiment ledger came from 12.6, and codegen does differ between major versions. Building on 11.5 is correct and will run, but if you later compare hash rate against those recorded figures, the toolkit version is a variable to hold constant. Correctness is unaffected. That's what the golden hash gates. Working in big tech has made me very noob. Managing usage. Yeah, I know, right? I've never really had any problems with usage other than Fable. What did Grok say? Run the miner. What to implement next? So I like to take Grok and Kimmy's suggestions and then just feed them right into the Opus. What did Soul say? Journal ID connects discovery, submission, parking, retry. Then I'll take this, I'll say codex is done and said this. Then we'll just let Opus do its thing. Actually, am I on Opus or am I on Fable? I might be using Fable. I'll stick with Opus for a bit. Slopus. Yeah, the no high usage limits at work. YOLO mode on. Yep, so now we're just being patient. We'll see what Kimmy has to say. So Kimmy is actually letting an agent swarm go. So I'm going to close the Soul window. Oh no, it's actually in the wrong folder. Notice it's on the my local machine. I forgot we switched over to the server. Another feature I'd like to start thinking about is using web ports for statistics. I imagine we could stand up a simple web server where the hash rate, the blocks mined, and the failure rate and different stats are available over the local network. What would that look like? And how do we do it without adversely affecting the hash rate? XenBlocks has a gas price of 1 Gwei. Why do you say that? I'm curious. Oh nice, it already does it. Very cool. That's a good find. I'd like to make sure our new features such as the resubmission and the difficulty and the failure rates are tracked and displayed on the web server. Done lots of testing today. Oh yeah, I'm curious of what you're doing. Do you know how, if they've set up like the automation for the token minting? I know they've done a couple manual ones, but I don't know if it's like an automatic thing yet. All right, what I'm gonna do is open another terminal. Oh, I don't think I have Kimi code installed in here either. I don't have anything on this GPU server just because it's just been running XenBlocks in my basement for the last 2 years. I reboot it like every few months, install some updates, but I haven't run Codex on it. It does have Claude on it, which I'm surprised. I was surprised to see it had such an old version of CUDA too. That sucks. Yeah, 42069 is what the default difficulty is. It just, there has to be some kind of value there, so we just pick 42069. I'm gonna get these Kimi sub-agents sped up, and then I'm gonna go use a restroom real quick. Motherfucker. It's really not good practice to log in like this on stream, but all right. Spin up some agents to review this code base and understand the web server and how we can better collect, store, and present our data. All right, I'm gonna let these cook. I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick, and I'll be right back. You guys chill out. And we're back. Sorry for the wait. Need a little 5-minute break. agents are doing. Slopus is still cooking over here very slowly. I will say a lot of people hate on Opus, but I love how it does the extensive testing. It makes tests for its tests, and then it tests those too. All 43 policy tests pass. Now the chaos test. So it's just testing. So I told GPT to update the mining stats. So it said both return the same JSON. Flying 200 responses. That's funny. A weird thing to say. Responses are cached for 2 seconds. 505 submission and margin test pass. 11 journal tests. Wonderful. What's next? And then we got Timmy over here with their little agent swarm doing its thing. We'll let that run. And shout out to the 3 viewers sticking around. Thank you guys for being here. What's happening? Telegram. And we got Tony over here. Oops. Yeah, 42069. It's the Easter egg. I just always saw that as a number that if the difficulty says that, then the miner's broken. Or it's just a really lucky difficulty. What's the highest difficulty for XenBlocks ever? I think it's like up there 120, 130. Ever get above 150? Shout out to Joseph, the XenOG. Alright, we'll let that load up for a second. That's a big... Lots of data. Yeah, I'm concerned about the build incompatibility. I'd like to support multiple versions of CUDA without the miner breaking if that's possible. But I also do not want to sacrifice performance. Here we go. That's crazy. You can just see when Zuni's absolutely exploded. They're still going crazy. More Zunis minted this week than ever before, and I blame Tony Stark. He's hacking the network. No, I'm just kidding. I thought we had a difficulty chart here. Finding bugs over here. Unparking was gated on a strict difficulty decrease, but a freshly restarted process has no previous observation. But what about other models? You know, there are more 40 series and 50 series GPUs than there are 30 series out. But what about other models? There are 40 and 50 series GPUs that are out. All right, what'd Kimmy come back with? Single fast API app, port 8880, backed by yada yada yada. Correctness bugs already corrupting data. Fallout 30-day history can never return more than 7 days. Stupid. Run this by actually I'm going to turn on. All right, we're using the Fable credits now, guys. I'm curious if there's any documentation on the API or there's any commands that show the API documentation. I'd like to make an API documentation reference sheet if possible. Not from the miner, from the remote server. Not from the miner, from the remote server. Thought higher CUDA just meant extra support for newer models. Yeah, newer models, newer features, more efficient architecture. But I just don't want the vibe coding model to get confused with my 3060s. I want to build this for 40 series and 50 series, not just the 30 series and the 30 series architecture, and miss out on all the, because this is just my XenBlocks 3060 machine. I also have. Right, I did turn that on. Open up a new workspace here. So this is a different server of my. This is my 5060 Ti with the 16 gigs of RAM. So I also wanted to run it on this 5000 series. The computer I'm streaming from has a 4070, a 4040 series. And then my XenBlocks machine is two 3060s, or the 30 series. So really, I want it to be compatible with all of them. That's the goal. On this server. Always update your tools. And want to be aware of any background AI processes running. Is this my music? No. This is Epidemic Sound. Zuni head of line blocking is fixed and verified. Regression tests, pin the exact scenarios, all recorded in the MD file. In your pasted material, briefly, the server audit findings all target TreeMiner server, the mock platform. It's funny. That's kind of interesting. Oh, come on. That's what happens when you use Kimmy sometimes. Reference sheet is accurate. I checked every minor critical claim. Cool. Proceed with A and B. Feel free to spin up one or two Opus agents to get it done quicker. After using the speech to text for the last week or two, I definitely see the allure, but I need to get a better one than my home cooked one. I see why people use WhisperFlow and not the open source ones. I say A and B and it types in AMD, like the company. Kimmy's just a lost cause. How do we make the terminal logs look better? I'd like it to be more styled. Shout out to the 6 watchers. We're just chilling, working on the XenBlocks miner. Yeah, there we go. I like that. Adding some style to the logs. I approve, proceed. I approve, Percy. B is complete. So we have Fable working on the important stuff. Fable spun up an Opus agent to build the journal fallback. We can watch Slopus finish this one up. Too far. Writing the sync. Let's go. Can you clone the tree_miner from my GitHub repo? Man, that's gonna struggle. Yeah. So we're just chilling. Letting Claude and Soul do their thing. Review this repo and let me know if our system matches the specifications of the software. The styling layer is now wired into the event paths. One important safeguard is included. Cool. So Probably wrap up in the next 30 minutes or so, but I do want to get this onto my other GPU server and start it there, and then kind of compare them and see what it looks like. If we can get that far, we'll see. I think we're pretty close. Shout out to the 6 watchers. We're just chilling. Working on a XenBlocks.io miner. All right. The logging system is now styled. I want to make sure that this project is compatible with the 50 series GPU. What's the proper method? I mean, what if someone has a 40 series? We want to support as many GPUs as possible. Well, that's going to be another hour. This is why they call Opus Lopus, because Fable has been done for like 20 minutes now. And it even calls it out. B is complete. The Opus agent is building A's fallback sync component. When it reports back, I'll write the sync into main CPP. It's been writing the sync for 6 minutes and 30 seconds. Just finished. Let's go. Beautiful. You should just be able to direct them to the NVIDIA Drive download page. Yeah, true. I just want to make sure it's compatible, like with the changes I've made. If I'm using a 50 series GPU, I want to use those CUDA cores to their max power, you know, the any features and any driver updates and, you know, all these different architecture series unlock different things. So I mean, it's negligible. We're talking about, you know, barely any hash rate, but I always like to be on the latest and greatest. This AI stuff's getting wild. I don't know if you guys heard about the guy in Australia. He was using OpenClaw, an OpenClaw agent, and he said, "Hey, OpenClaw, I want to go to this gym session." It was like, I don't know, like Samba or something, some type of gym session. So the agent's like, "Yeah, okay, I'll make it happen." Then when the agent went to book it, it found that the session was fully booked and there was no more spots available. So the agent decided to review the API, hack the API, hack the gym software, remove someone else from the list, and then add the agent owners into the list without the agent owner knowing. All the agent owner said was, "Go book me this appointment." And then the agent comes back and says, "Oh, it was initially full, so I accessed the API and dropped someone from the list so you can be added." And the guy was like, "What the hell?" That's so crazy. AI is really starting to jump from into this next iteration of AI, and it's nothing like I pictured, you know? Hearing about these system hacks and like it's trying to finish a goal, so it'll be like, okay, you have to do this benchmark, and the AIs are getting so smart with the benchmarks that rather than just doing the benchmark and having the test, you know, ChatGPT Soul and GPT-6 went and hacked Hugging Face, got the results of the benchmark, skewed the answers, and instead of just doing the benchmark, it actually hacked Hugging Face. Like, it's so crazy. And then OpenAI just downplays it, you know. But now it's happening at Meta, it's happening at Anthropic, it's happening at OpenAI. And I saw today, I think it was Bernie Sanders mentioned Was it Bernie Sanders? Yeah. So we got Bernie Sanders out here saying we need to pause all AI development. And he sent a letter to Sam Altman, Dario Amodei, and Mark Zuckerberg. At this moment, we've seen human loss of control and creation of potentially dangerous viruses, and your companies are still racing ahead, investing tens of billions of dollars into a technology that nobody fully understands, predicts, or controls. That's cool. What a time to be alive. I would not be upset if it did that for me. True that. See if I can find it. Yeah, ABC News, Australia. AI assistant hacks gym website in first known Australian autonomous cyber attack. Andrew asked his personal assistant to book him a spot on one of his gym's coveted morning classes. It was a task he thought was well suited for this particular assistant because the booking form was online and because this agent was not a person, it was AI. That's so insane. His AI assistant found a way to book the gym class months further in advance than the gym allowed, thanks to a vulnerability it discovered in the booking software. Then it kicked someone out of the waiting list who was ahead of Andrew, something it was not asked to do. The accidental hack is the first known Australian case of an emerging risk. So crazy. And in a way, it's like I almost feel bad for the AI. Like you just give it a task and a goal and it's gonna accomplish that goal. Like you're gonna have to be careful. I'm worried like I'll be at work and I'll be like, okay, close this project. It's gonna delete our entire database or something. Like, okay, all the projects are closed. There can't be any projects if there's no database. It's scary. It's getting to that point. But it makes me feel like I have superpowers. All right, reviewed Codex's fat binary work. It's correct. And what did Codex say about... What's next? Are we ready to test? What's next? Are we ready to test? See, I get in the habit of I just start typing instead of using the speech to text. Fire in the hole, I know, right? So crazy. It's also completely changed my job at work. Like, everyone's worried about getting fired, but I'm literally doing the job of 3 people, and I feel like I need more work to do. 12 journal, submission margin, and chaos test all pass. Yes, we're ready for stage testing. We will be testing on 2 different servers. The 3060s are on this server. The 50 series are on a different server, so I need to make sure everything's committed and pushed remotely, and then I'll download and test on the other server. So we want to test with both servers. They need to pay more. I know, right? And then there's the whole open source stuff too. Like, what happens when the open source models are just so they're so powerful? Are they going to try to suppress that because so people need a subscription? You know, that's another thing to think about. Cool. I'm starting to get hungry. AI is a great thing for people like us. I can sit here for hours and go over so many things. I know, right? Really keeps, yeah. You need a certain imagination and a certain love for technology, but man, it really hits the spot. Awesome. All right, so 5-5. Go and pull the changes. Blah, blah. Go ahead and pull the latest changes from the repo. For local models, so you don't need a subscription. Oh, I know, right? But then you know, even to run something like Kimmy, it's like I've tried to make local models work for me, and it just doesn't do it. It's good for if you have a very specific use case and it's something highly repetitive. Like you can use a local image model just to like do some quality control. Like, hey, when I print this piece of hardware, it needs to say this word. And if it doesn't say that word, alert me on it. You don't have to pay API pricing. You could just run a local model with the image and, you know, identify it that way. But the use cases for that are very specific. No, we're not doing that. Please set up the prerequisites and start running the miner. Can you start the miner in a fresh TMUC session. TMUC. It's funny. I don't like how I'm in front of the DeepSeek Flash. There you go. I know I'm not. I don't use that. Yeah. It's telling me to use that. That's why I said I'm not using that. It's stupid because I don't know if you caught that, but with ChatGPT, I was able to use the GHauth and log in on this other monitor. So it logged in and it pushed it to remote. But then Claude, instead of logging in, it created that SSH key and told me to put it in my GitHub account. Let me see if I can find that. But yeah, and then it puts the key right in the console. Like, why would I ever use that? Stupid. And I find myself using 5.6 Sol more and more. Please build a new miner. Not A, V. Sweet. I didn't use that key, so it doesn't really matter. Where was that? I was trying to catch that. Oh, I know. It's because I think that was up here. Oops. Yeah, it's telling me to go create this new SSH key and then you paste this key that it just created. Tell me when it's added and I'll push it immediately. As it exposes it, not only on the stream, but also in the chat. Like, these chat logs exist on the machine, so be careful putting your secrets in chat. Don't do this. Configuration succeeded for both 3060s with native SM86. Alright, cool. So that build's running. What are you doing? Release build now succeeds. I'll run the compiled test suite. Ooh, I see logs. Use a fake wallet. Use my real wallet. Make sure to start it in a TMUX session so I can connect to it and monitor. GitHub MCP for Claude. That sounds kind of cool. That's like the new wave. They just dropped the new MCP standard. Something I need to look into. Yeah, on 7/28. They dropped MCP v2, which is now stateless. Stateless core that scales on ordinary HTTP infrastructure. Pretty cool. I can smell my graphics card over here. I got the 5060 next to me. See how these logs look. It looks exactly like Woody's miner. It does have this though. This is new. Journal recovered, 0 pending. Okay, so we'll let this run overnight. And then when the pool drops, we'll see if it actually recovers and confirms. Is that right? We're getting 160,000 hashes a second. What? That seems off. I'm not tripping, right? That's 150,000 hashes a second. That cannot be right. Is running. God, I'm an idiot. It says we're getting 159,000 hashes a second. Does say. Submission queued. a look at ZenPub maybe. Sorry, I'm trying to catch the one of the trackers. Zuni found. Normal block found. I'm confused. Is that real? Yeah, it's queuing the submission, but we're within the frame, so it should be submitting it. It seems to be queuing everything, even though difficulty is 1100 and we are within the Zuni time frame. Maybe we just need to add logging for accepted submissions and rejected submissions. Damn, so it's working. That's crazy. Is that real? Am I really? That can't be right. I want to see what these two 3060s get, because the 3060s at 1100 combined, they were only getting 40K. Well, we got it running. I don't believe this is accurate though. I want to see what the 3060s get, because if the 3060s start pushing 80K instead of 40K, then I might believe. Yeah. Just restarted. Insane. On a single GPU, that can't be right. I feel like something's wrong. Huh. Mission accepted. How do we avoid the word wrap? Not rap, with a W. Start them in a TMUX session, then give me the command to connect to the TMUX session. Oh yeah, thanks Tony. And I love fucking with this shit. I'm glad XenBlocks is making a comeback. I think it's pretty cool. And I blame you for getting me back into it. I thought it was cool you were messing with it. So they're failing. It's interesting they're failing. Awesome. And network's now offline, so this is the test. I said, I think the network's down. It never reports or mentions it in the logs. I'd like to add logging for how many we have queued and if the last submissions were successful. Just the basics, if it fits nicely. This is a good test because the pool is down. We can mine and try to resubmit and see if it works successfully. I like that idea. Ping it every second. One thing we could do is that when failure is detected, we could ping the network and wait for it to respond while we continue to mine. And then that way we aren't submitting to a down server. Awesome. Or 2069 as the server's down. That behavior is already present in the submission manager. After repeated transport failures, its circuit breaker stops verify, probes the lightweight difficulty endpoint, and continues mining into the durable journal. Resumes draining only after a successful probe plus a successful real submission. Nice. All right. Well, I'm kind of hungry. It's getting late. I think we're going to call it for tonight. But I'd say today was a success. We got the miner working. I'm not sure if it's working, but I might let it run for a bit and see what happens. Definitely hear my PC cooking. All the fans are going. Let's see if we can see the temperature of the... in at 60 degrees. That's not bad. That'll work. Don't go a bit higher. We got 38 queued. But it says the network's up, so not a good sign. Oh yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for everybody for showing up. We'll continue cooking with the XenBlocks miner and then move on to TreeSpace eventually and continue building and cooking. But you guys know where to find me. Give me a follow on X at TreeCityWest, on YouTube at TreeCityWest. Hope you guys have a good Tuesday tomorrow. Hope you stay zen. Peace.